The TV that watched me. Part 1. The first night. When I moved into my new apartment, I thought I finally found peace. Quiet place. A place where nothing moved unless I wanted it to. It was an old Soviet-era building, the kind that groaned in the winter and sighed in the summer, but inside my unit it felt oddly still. Too still. The previous owner had left behind only one thing: a heavy television on a thick, almost ancient stand. It was a strange mix. A modern flat screen attached to a bulky wooden base. I assumed he just upgraded the screen and didn't bother to get rid of the old stand. Nothing unusual, or so I thought. My first night was exhausting from unpacking. I fell asleep instantly, until a sharp, cold light pierced my closed eyelids. I woke up, confused, disoriented. The room was glowing. The TV was on. But I knew, absolutely knew, I unplugged it. I even double-checked it earlier because half the outlets in the apartment felt loose. Yet there it was, flickering. No channels, no menu, no logos. Just gray static. But it wasn't normal static. It looked like something was moving inside it, swimming in the noise. I walked toward it slowly, feeling a tight pressure in my chest. The room smelled different too. Dusty, but also damp, like a basement after rain. I grabbed the plug. It was still lying on the floor, detached, and the TV stayed on. A shiver ran down my spine. I pressed the power button directly on the screen. No reaction, but the image on the screen shifted. The static pulled itself inward, revealing something darker beneath, almost like a tunnel fading into black. Then, for a fraction of a second, I saw a silhouette, still, human-shaped, facing the screen. I stumbled back, my heart pounding so hard I could taste blood, and just like that, the TV shut off. The screen went completely black. The room fell silent, but the silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It listened. Part 2. The recordings. The next day, I blamed everything on exhaustion, hallucination, stress, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something had watched me from inside that static. I tried not to think about it. I went to work, came back, ate dinner, scrolled on my phone in bed. I didn't even turn on the TV. But exactly at 3:17 a.m., the room exploded with light again. The TV turned on. This time, the screen wasn't showing static. It was playing a recording. My living room, from the corner of the ceiling. The camera angle didn't exist in reality. There was no camera there. But the screen showed my apartment exactly as it looked now. Same carpet, same boxes I hadn't finished unpacking, same crooked lamp. Then I stepped into frame. Me, walking in from the kitchen. The recording showed me scratching my shoulder, yawning, and then suddenly freezing, like I sensed something. Then, from the hallway behind me in the video, a dark shape slid across the wall. My knees went weak. I looked behind me in the real apartment. Nothing, but my breath trembled, like my body already knew something was terribly wrong. On the TV, the recording cut to a new angle. Now it showed my bedroom, again from a spot where no camera existed. I was lying in the bed, asleep. The figure stood beside me, tall, bent forward, his head almost touching mine. Then it lifted a hand, long, thin fingers, and touched my hair. My stomach twisted. I staggered backward, nearly tripping over the rug. And then, without warning, the figure on the screen turned its head sharply and faced the camera directly, as if it knew I was watching. Two hollow pits instead of eyes. An open mouth that stretched wider than any human mouth should. I reached for the plug again. Still lay on the ground, untouched. The screen flickered violently, and the figure broke into static, but not before the recording ended with one last frame. A message written in thin, vibrating letters. You left the TV on. The screen went dark, and the room felt full of something. Something that wasn't there the day before. Part 3. When it began watching back. For the next 2 nights, I didn't sleep at all. I sat on my bed with a kitchen knife, staring at the unplugged TV across the room. I even covered it with a thick blanket, but it didn't help. The blanket would slide off by itself, sometimes slowly, like someone was pulling it from underneath. At 3:17 a.m. on the third night, the TV turned on again. This time silently, no flash, just a cold glow seeping through the darkness. The screen showed not a recording, but a live feed. My bedroom, right now. From behind me, I spun around instantly. Nothing there. But on the screen, I saw a shadow standing over my shoulder. I watched myself on the TV, breathing fast, frozen in terror. And behind me the shadow grew taller and closer. My knees locked. I couldn't move. I could only watch myself being approached by something I couldn't see in real life. Then the figure on screen leaned down, its head level with mine, and whispered, though the TV had no sound, "Turn around." Couldn't breathe, couldn't think. But slowly, uncontrollably, my body began to obey. The air behind me thickened, cold, heavy. The smell of damp earth filled my nose. I turned halfway, and the TV screen exploded with static, like something hit it from inside. I snapped out of whatever force was holding me and bolted out of the bedroom, slamming the door behind me. The TV kept buzzing through the door, low and hungry. That night, I slept in the hallway. The last broadcast. I called an electrician in the morning. He checked everything, wiring, outlets, the TV's internals. His face went pale when he opened the back panel. The TV wasn't connected to any power source inside. The circuits were completely dead. "This thing shouldn't even light up," he stammered. But it did. Every night. The breaking point came when I decided to film it with my phone. I wanted proof. Evidence that I wasn't losing my mind. 3:17 a.m. Like clockwork, the TV turned on. This time the screen didn't show the room. It showed me, not live, not recorded, something else. A version of me standing in front of the TV, smiling unnaturally wide. Eyes black, neck twisted slightly, as if broken. And then the me on the screen spoke. "It's your turn." The TV shut off instantly. My phone crashed and wouldn't turn on again. That was the last night I stayed in that apartment. I moved out the next morning and never went back. But sometimes, when I can't sleep, I swear I see a faint gray glow coming from the corners of dark rooms, like a TV turning itself on somewhere nearby, watching, waiting, and every time at exactly 3:17 a.m., my blood runs cold, because I remember the last thing the screen ever showed me. You never turned it off.